guys, and welcome to this kind of ramble video, probably, because I'm just doing this on a whim. I have no idea what I'm basically going to talk about, but it's mostly probably also a video to me, like kind of a promise or a reminder, because I don't know about you, but I read a lot of books at the same time. So I'll be reading probably one or two books, like really reading them, and then I'll have a few books that I occasionally pick up. Usually they're not really fiction, they're more like biographies or autobiographies, or like I'm reading this book that's basically the making of Middle Earth, which deals with all the things that Tolkien was probably, or we know he was influenced by when making Lord of the Rings and everything, and it's really interesting, but it's also kind of a textbook, so I kind of read that a little bit. But because I read insanely like this, I have now probably about 15 books that I'm officially reading, and some of them I've been reading for more than a year. And I thought this was the perfect moment, because I did this I think 2 years ago, to thin out that currently reading list of mine, and just you know, read a book that I really want to read now, and then read the book that I was reading. And it's not that they're not good books, but usually there are books that either I just kind of lost interest halfway through, but I know I'll like them, but just not at that time, or usually I'm reading a book, loving it, and then another book comes along, like for instance this one, The Alloy of Love, which I just had to read right away, so it just, you know, knocked all other books aside, and I just started reading that. And then sometimes I sort of forget about the book. So one of my sort of New Year's resolutions is that I'm gonna try and shrink that pile of books that I'm supposedly reading. Some of them I actually am sort of reading right now because I started them not too long ago. But I think I'm just gonna try and read as many of them as I can in January and see how that goes. I already made a pretty good start, because one of the books that I was reading but couldn't really get into somehow, even though I really liked it, but there were other books that just kept, you know, getting in the way, so I kept reading those first, is Wildwood by written by Colin Malloy with illustrations by Carson Ellis, and it is an amazing book. First of all, the cover is awesome, and it has all these amazing illustrations in them, including illustrations that are in color, and I really like that. And it's a book that kind of reminds me of Narnia a little bit, in a really good way, and because Narnia is awesome. And for some reason it was becoming one of those books that would be on my I'm reading this list for like ages. So at the beginning of the new year I just grabbed this book and said I'm only gonna read this book, and I did. And because I was spending more time with this book and reading just this, I got way more into the story, and I finished it within a day, I think 1 or 2 days. So, and I absolutely loved it, by the way. I really like it. And yeah, so this is the first book that I crossed off my currently reading list. And then of course I started reading this one, which is a new book, which I got for Christmas. You can see that in my previous video, my Christmas book haul, if you're interested. So now I'm reading that one, but it's a short book. And then I'm probably gonna read one of the other books that I'm currently reading. Especially I'm reading a few biographies. I'm reading The Imitation Game, you know, from the movie. I'm reading the book that was based on, but the book is really scientific. There's a lot of, you know, math stuff and everything in there, and I get it, but it's not really extremely interesting, because I like math, but not so much that I want to read about it. So, but it's still interesting. But I think that's the reason why I didn't really continue reading that book. And I'm also reading the autobiography of Christopher Lee, which I got really into until a certain point when probably another book came in that I really wanted. Probably a book that I ordered or something. And then I read that, and then I read a different book, blah 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 blah. And the end result is that it's still on my I'm reading this pile. So let me know, do you have any reading based New Year's resolutions? Do you also have this pile of books that you're kind of sort of still reading but not really? Maybe you should revisit it and either decide not to read them or, you know, see where it goes. Maybe you'll love it now. Maybe now is the right time to read that book. And yeah, you don't have to finish books, of course, but I like to finish books. And these are all books that I actually do want to read. So for me, this is probably a really good idea. I should probably also read books that I have. You know, the worst thing, I got all these books for Christmas. I was super happy with them. And I was so, like, the next day, I really want to go on the internet and buy all the books that I didn't get that were on my wish list, which is horrible. But you know, I'm grateful for the books that I got. And I didn't do it, by the way. Mostly because I don't have any money, because I bought way too many gifts for everyone and for myself. But yeah. But my mom felt the same. She also wanted to go on the internet and buy things. Even though we just spent an entire evening getting presents. But oh well. I should probably... What I'm trying to say, rambling, as I said, I warned you. I should probably buy less books this year. It's not gonna happen, is it? But I should try to read at least more books that I already have. That I bought like in this big order. This bulk order of books and then didn't read even though I really want to read them. So those are kind of my bookish resolutions. Read 100 books this year. I don't know if I said it in this video yet, but I'm gonna read 100 books this year. It's my Goodreads challenge. I want to read more books on my I'm currently reading list, and I want to read more books that I already own. That's my resolution. So let me know what you want to read this year. What are your goals, or are you just happy if you read one book, or do you want to read like 1,000 books? Good luck if you manage it. That would be amazing. But yeah, let me know. Or maybe you want to try new genres or find new authors or whatever. I'm really interested. So let me know in the comments. And I'll see you soon with another video. Bye!